dance to the feet of Jesus has caressed me, and now with your hands turning on.
My name is Daniel Moore. I'm not a singer. I'm not a celebrity. I'm not here for applause or a record deal. I'm just a man who has been broken in more ways than I can count, bruised by life, forgotten by the world, and written off by even those I once loved. I've slept on sidewalks, eaten from trash cans, cried in silence where no one could hear me. I've stared at the ceiling of jail cells and hospital rooms, wondering how it all went so wrong. And truthfully, I shouldn't be standing here tonight. Not by any human logic, but I am. Not because I had strength, not because I had support, but because someone greater than me, greater than all this, reached down into the darkest corner of my life and refused to let me die. That someone is Jesus, the only one who saw me when I was invisible, who heard me when I couldn't even speak, who believed in me when I had no faith left. And tonight, I'm here to tell you, with every piece of honesty I have left, that when the world turned its back on me, he didn't. I've lived through things that would break most people. Nights where I didn't want to wake up. Mornings where I cursed the sun for rising. I lost everything: family, friends, dignity, purpose. But the one thing I never lost was the chance to be saved. I'm not here to beg for sympathy or to glorify my pain. I'm here because maybe, just maybe, someone out there is feeling what I felt. Someone needs to hear that it's not too late. And if that's you, I hope you'll listen, because I found a light in my darkest hour, and I want you to know that light still shines. There was a time when my life looked normal from the outside. I had a steady job in a warehouse, a small apartment with just enough space for me and the woman I loved, and on some days, I even dared to feel happy. But what no one saw was the storm brewing inside me. I had mastered the art of hiding my pain, smiling in public while silently drowning in private. You see, I never learned how to be vulnerable. I grew up in a house where emotions were weakness and silence was survival. My father left before I could even spell his name, and my mother, though strong, carried her own wounds, the kind that never really heal. As the years went on, that silence inside me turned to weight, heavy, suffocating. I tried to numb it, first with late nights, then with bottles, then with anything that made me feel nothing. Slowly, everything started falling apart. I lost my job after I stopped showing up. I lost my apartment when the bills piled too high. And eventually, I lost her, the only person who had ever really loved me. She said I was disappearing, and she was right. I wasn't living anymore. I was just existing. I stopped answering calls. I stopped eating. I stopped believing my life had any meaning. I remember walking the streets at night, not even sure where I was headed, just moving, wandering, hoping something, anything, would change. But nothing did. The world moved on fast and cold, while I stood still, invisible. People passed by like I didn't exist, and maybe deep down, I believed I didn't. That's the scariest place a human being can reach. Not sadness, not anger, but numbness. When you feel like your breath is just a burden and waking up is a curse. That's where I was. Until the night that changed everything. Then came the night I hit rock bottom. I had nothing left. not even the strength to pretend anymore. I found myself alone in a cheap motel room, a bottle in one hand and a handful of pills in the other. I looked in the mirror and didn't recognize the man staring back at me. I was done, finished. I had written a goodbye note to no one in particular, just in case someone found my body. With tears in my eyes, I whispered, "God, if you're real, this is your last chance to show up." I didn't expect anything. I didn't deserve anything. But something happened. The silence changed. The room didn't get brighter, and no angel appeared. But something inside me cracked open. I felt warmth in my chest, like an invisible hand was holding me. And then I heard it, not with my ears, but in my heart. "You are not alone. I'm here. I always have been." It wasn't imagination. It wasn't a trick. It was peace, deep, soul-splitting peace I'd never felt before. I dropped the pills. I sank to the floor and cried like a child. In that moment, I knew Jesus had just walked into my life, and he wasn't leaving. That moment became the first step toward my healing. It didn't erase my pain, but it reminded me I wasn't beyond saving. I checked into a local church shelter the next morning. I told the pastor everything. He didn't judge me. He prayed with me. He handed me a Bible and said, "God's not waiting for you to be perfect. He just wants you to come home." That night, I opened it randomly and landed on Isaiah 43:1. "I have called you by name. You are mine." I couldn't stop the tears. For the first time in years, I felt like I had a name, and it was known by God. Since then, the journey has been slow, but sacred. I started volunteering at the shelter's kitchen, just peeling potatoes at first. I shared my story with others who were struggling, just like I had. Slowly, I saw pieces of my life coming back together. I started to smile again. Not fake smiles, real ones. I began to dream again. Not big, wild dreams. Just the dream of being whole. I still carry scars, but they remind me I survived. I'm not clean because of rehab. I'm clean because grace found me when I didn't want to live another day. Jesus never let go. So tonight, I stand before you not as someone seeking fame, but as someone offering truth. I was dead inside. I had no hope, no future. I believed I was worthless, but Jesus saw worth in me when I couldn't see anything good in myself, and I don't care if this story gets a standing ovation. I care if it reaches the one person who's sitting in silence tonight, wondering if life is still worth living. If that's you, hear me. He sees you. He hears you. And he can still save you. Because if Jesus could save me, then trust me, he can save anyone.